Hello and welcome back to Kaiserreich. One of the things that, one of the harsh realities of playing one of these minor nations like Norway and like Finland, I suppose, that we're playing in the other campaign. Oh boy! Roger Commune declared war on the Princely Federation. Yeah, also, I was saying, one of those harsh realities of playing a minor nation like this is that you generally have to just sit by and watch as a lot of things are happening in the early game. Right now, we are stockpiling equipment. That's about all we can do for now. We're gonna get that other military factory up that will create some heavy fighters for us. We'll probably only have like a wing or two, like not a lot of them. We can't even activate a wing right now because of our manpower shortage. In fact, I'm only going to deploy one of those. And I'm going to reduce the amount of these ships that we're going to deploy. We're going to need more of them, but we can't really afford to deploy that many right now. With the manpower being as it is. It is going to increase at some point, but that's not until the world tension increases or something else changes to the, current situation. Like getting into war and stuff. Meanwhile, we can witness this stuff with the German East Asia landing, or yeah, they landed in Trieste, which is kind of interesting. Sent troops all the way from over here. The Alsace Ultimatum, okay. So here it comes then, because this would be the ideal time for the socialists, the syndicalists rather. In this case, the totalists. No, they are actually the syndicalists, the travailleurs. Yeah, so this is the ideal time for them to strike. So the Alsace Ultimatum. After months of low-intensity skirmishes and diplomatic game-playing on the German-French border, the two behemoths are poised on the edge of potentially the most brutal conflict mankind has known since the dark days of the Weltkrieg. So this is, I think, the default outbreak mechanism for war. This is like the one thing that often doesn't happen, because Kaiserreich likes to like throw weird shit at you. So, in a shocking escalation, the Communard government in Paris openly demanded the return of the German-controlled Alsace-Lothringen. Sorry. Almost went French there. Seized after the War of 1871 by the victorious Reich, they were not the Reich. They were the Prussian, the Kingdom of Prussia, or the Prussian Kingdom. That's kind of like a pedantic thing, but they were not yet the Reich, unless there's a change to the timeline, because the Reich was proclaimed in the Hall of Mirrors in Versailles following that victory, or not even like fully. I think possibly the German Empire was proclaimed right then and there, but I don't know if it was immediately. Yeah, it was Prussia heading the North German Federation. It was not quite yet the Reich, and Wilhelm was not quite yet emperor. Flouting international norms, a single squadron of French planes flew into German airspace, dropping thousands of leaflets detailing their grievances. Much to the chagrin on the Reich's general staff, or of the Reich's general staff. Such actions are sure to outrage public opinion in Berlin, and even now mobilization efforts are underway. At this point, it seems unlikely that the Second Weltkrieg can be avoided. Good song for this. Oh, there we go. The Commune of France declared war on the German Empire. Hello, friends. How about an attaché? The Weltkrieg claimed the lives of countless young men from all over the world in a conflict on an industrial scale. It appears that even that nightmare could not deter man's lust for blood. After over 20 years of proxy warfare, diplomatic pressure and political squabbles, the uneasy peace between Germany and France has broken down. These two great powers are now mobilizing their armies in preparation For war, the likes of which the world has never seen. New guns, planes, ships, tanks, and deadlier weapons will see their use on the battlefield as open warfare begins once more in Europe. For the Germans and the French, now there can be only one end: victory or destruction. War is hell. So now every single Nordic country except for us are in the Reichspakt. Oh, what the fuck? Protectionist economy, you bastards. So many troops, dude. Halfway, I have to send the delegation for the army experience, but also halfway just so that, you know, we have something to look at. So we've got Irish troops, we've got Danish troops, we've got Swedish troops, we've got Wallonian troops, I think. Yeah, and we've got men and women, I suppose, from Flanders. Probably just men because of the. Oh, I mean, the Social Democrats might be. And yeah, this is a war at an immense scale. And then you got French troops as well as British troops and Italian troops in Italy here. French militias have risen up in Strasbourg, in occupied Alsace-Lorraine. This region is majority French in this period, at least in the original timeline. And they were, even back like in World War One. Or yeah, in World War One before the French took it back from the Germans after the defeat in 1871 in the Franco-Prussian War. Austria is desperately holding on, and they might still be able to, because now the Germans have to ship troops all around in order to deal with the socialists. I think we have two important decisions ahead of us here. Because Sweden and Denmark are protected by the Reichspakt. If they don't seem willing, which it seems at least the Swedish will not be, but if they don't seem willing to accept entry into a Nordic federation, then we will have to take them by force. And I suppose the way, one way to do that would be to have a syndicalist and to join the Third International. It does seem absurdly strong at the moment. Battles are still raging across the lines, the French and German lines, and these lines are probably going to stay, they're going to remain relatively static for a long time because they have immense fortifications. They have fort level 3 all around the line here. The French have fort level 4 all the way. They've got a weak point around here, a little bit east of Reims, north of Verdun. But otherwise, it is very well secured. Calais, slightly weak there. Possibly could wrap around. Got Russian volunteers here as well. From Kirill the First. Invite the legitimate Tsar. Yeah, they have crowned the legitimate Tsar. Who is on very good terms with the Germans and with the Pacific States of America. Oh boy. They've got a like slightly deep fort lines here, but it's not going to be enough, I don't think. They need more troops on this end here in order to actually be able to defend. And for that, they need to squash Austria first, so they can reassign all these troops on this line here over to the west again. Like, look at it, they only have one division there. And look at all these. Granted, they do have divisions around it that could pin, but like basically by attacking this in order to keep them from attacking. Oh, the Russian Empire declared war on the Don Kuban Union. Seizing the oil, I presume. Yeah. That's also kind of a thing you want to do when a large war like this starts. You want to just grab the oil that you can, because that is going to be vital for shipping. Man, our mountain divisions are so tiny. We can afford a lot of them, which means we don't have enough people in them. Don't think this one is going to be worth it. The defense that we have right now, let's see, what is it? It is 164. Yeah, it's not going to be worth it to add a recon company, I don't think. Support artillery, maybe. But I don't imagine the mountaineer divisions as attackers, really. Mostly as defenders. Germans are losing ground in Italy. Or at least it seems that way. Perhaps not. No, I think they are, yeah. Ever so slightly. Oh, and they've pushed through here. What? They've reached Reims, and they have Danish troops in Reims. Is this like a thin Schlieffen I'm looking at? Like a thin, like scythe coming down to cut the back of the French army. I forget what the analogy is. I think it's a hammer and anvil, with the Siegfried line being the anvil, and the hammer being the armies going through the lowlands. We've upgraded the Navy Air Service. Let's start doing this stuff in order to get the or no, let's do international relations. Get political power, potentially get some events, and start sorting all this stuff out. Let's see if we can replace our foreign minister. We might not want to bother with this because we are going to have an election this month, which is going to replace our ministers anyways. Okay, so Stortingsvalget. Storting is the Norwegian parliament. A lot of our ancient... I keep saying this, ancient. A lot of our like medieval ways of doing things would be organized around the thing, or the ting. Basically, a bunch of people with authority would gather in a place to basically come to a conclusion about decisions, and sometimes even at these things, you would elect kings and stuff as well. In Iceland, they call their parliament the Althing. Ting for everyone, I guess. And yeah, you had like Odelsting, which is like low nobility ting, I think. Various things, and you also have like Tingrett, which means like judicial courts, which are, you know, some of the highest courts. The election is tightly fought and will decide, yeah, so Conservatives and the Farmer Party, or we can, that gives us Karl Joachim Hambro, or we could go with Johan Nygaardsvold for the Social Democrats and the Liberals. So Johan Nygaardsvold was the Prime Minister during World War II in Norway, the real one. He is the leader of Norway in Artsvine 4, in base Artsvine 4. Now the reason we're going to pick this one is because we want to go down the Progressive Labor Agreement, which establishes state enterprises like those we have in real life, in the real life world of Norway today, and we're going to get the Social Security Act afterwards. Yes, I like this one better than this one. Talked about it in a previous episode, you probably remember. Yeah, then we're gonna go all the way down to free education. This part of Norway, I very much love. So now we have the Social Democrats. Norges Sosialdemokratiske Arbeiderparti. NSA. During the split, obviously, when you have Arbeiderpartiet, which I don't know if they're actually called. Oh, well, yeah, the Norske Arbeiderparti. Norges Sosialdemokratiske Arbeiderparti split off. And in real life, NKP, the Norwegian Communist Party, split off, but here it's the National Syndicalist Party. Or it's probably in Norsk Syndikalistisk Forbund. Oh yeah, it's Norsk Syndikalistisk Forbund, because that's Martin Tranmæl. In real life, he was the leader of this, not Jakob Tege, I believe. And then, yeah, the NSA split off. And then later they merged again, because they kind of came to agreements again after the communists split off from them again. So like basically this one started becoming more moderate again. So these two, like their ideologies and their, you know, their beliefs kind of meshed again. Martin Tranmæl, he had like a period where he got kind of radicalized, I guess, and then got a bit more moderate as the years went on. We could research the light tanks. Would be interesting to maybe try to go for a couple. Have like a single tank division or something. Just do this, it's only 31 days. Dude, this song extremely bangs. An expression that means it's very good, if you haven't heard it before. Dude, we have nothing to research. I'm completely stumped for what to do. Alright, should we do land force? I don't know if we really need... Yeah, I don't know if we really need to do land force. We might do radar, yeah. That #1 radar is actually garbage. It's only going to be good defensively, but we're going to research more radar. In fact, now I have my answer for what we're going to research. More radar. Rest in peace, the most blessed United States. I think the direction we take right now is going to depend entirely on who's winning this war. Because honestly, I think I mean, in the German Empire campaign, I was constantly like, you know, whoever is winning, we're not going to side with them. Because that makes it too easy. I mean, we're Germany, for Christ's sakes. Argentina and Uruguay have done their warring. By that I mean Argentina has utterly conquered Uruguay. Fucking JPEG Kaiser Wilhelm II here. I'm a bit saddened by the fact that, you know, Wilhelm is old here, of course. So we don't get his glorious fucking King Bob-omb from Mario 64 mustache. You know, the one, like, extremely angled one from World War I? It looks like that King Bob-omb guy from Bob-omb Battlefield in Mario 64. Obviously, since we are playing minors, we don't get a lot of stuff to do before we, you know, get later into the war, so I do often fast forward a lot. That means these series are going to be shorter, so I might need some help with figuring out who I'm going to be playing next. I think since we've been playing minors right now, I want a change of pace. So when I choose the next nation I'm going to play, it's probably going to have to be one of the more, like, influential, larger nations. Maybe something in America. They did change the Civil War and stuff a bit. Of course, you know I'm going to be playing something in China when that gets done. Oh boy! Every time I scroll over to Asia, I shudder. The Canadian Commonwealth has declared war on the Union of Britain. The reclamation has begun. Let's have a look at their focus tree here. Constitution Act, so they didn't go down the sort of royal, I guess, absolutism tree, maybe? They went down Constitution Act, so they form a more democratic society. That's very good. Oh, they're spreading out. They're actually taking territory there. Song's beautiful. Oh, hold on. Can we do this? Can we cheese this? Does this work? Maybe. I don't know if that is actually how it works, but or if it would be applied anyways. Because I got Nylands Verksted, which does give a submarine bonus. Russia took the Don-Kuban Union, so they have a bunch of more oil now for their, I mean, probably almost non-existent navy. I mean, 9 naval dockyards compared to Power 5, yeah, it's like, it's completely, like, it's extremely tiny for Russia, I guess, but they've had more time to build their navy, so they have a stronger navy overall. A lot of those might be submarines, though, which are very quick and easy to build. Our party popularity is dog shit. Very Norwegian. 19% at the highest. Very, very Norwegian. Like, if a party gets like 30%, I think that's kind of insane. In Norwegian politics. Oh, and there Austria was taken. The United States of Greater Austria are gone, and the Italian Republic is gone, and much more. So this is interesting. They've pushed through in France, but they're losing in Italy. That's probably not going to be the case for much longer now, that all of these troops are being reassigned. So many of them. Let's do this, because it's a flat increase. Dude, I can feel a sneeze coming at a distance. It's torturous. I gotta like mute my mic every now and then. Oh, yeah, I forgot about this. I mean, Ukraine's not gonna last long. This also bangs. Yeah, it seems like the French aren't actually making any gains at all. They took this little piece here, which made me, you know, panic and think they're gonna win. But their approach has been fairly impotent up until this point. It doesn't seem like anyone has a lot of tanks. Union of Iceland has joined the Third International. Hello. Brynjolfur Bjarnason. Union of Iceland. Interesting flag there. Kind of like it. I'm not like a big fan of the like angled stuff like this, but it's not the worst. The mountains kind of being like the very mountainous Iceland in general. They've got a bunch of like volcanoes and stuff, volcanic activity. Eyjafjallajökull, which is kind of a famous volcano. There's some volcanoes that have like ridiculous names that, you know, Americans and stuff, they see the name and they go like, what the fuck is that? Because it's so many letters, but it's, you know, it's just like a compound word. Oh, Czechoslovakia has been freed by the Germans. Let's see who leads it. FPS is like dying because of the speed. Willem Ferko. Authoritarian Democrats. Generic focus tree, sadly. And the Kingdom of Hungary as well. Balkanization has begun. Kingdom of Serbia. Kingdom of Croatia with Juraj Stankovaci, or Stankovaki. Oh, Kingdom of Serbia was already a thing. Elez Stepanovic, Bosnia-Herzegovina. Transylvania, under Alexandru Vaida Voevod. Born to a Greek Catholic family. Whoever was supportive of a plan to federalize the dominions of the Habsburgs and was close to Archduke Franz Ferdinand. Archduke. In 1906, he joined a group of Romanian nationalists in the Budapest parliament, becoming an important opponent of the Hungarian government, and fought for Transylvania's right for self. Interesting. God, this I'm gonna skip this one because the audio quality was not great. We have done the radio research. Let's continue down the infantry stuff path, and let's upgrade the radio research or radio here so that it actually covers the coastline a little bit. Actually, look at our air wings. We have a fighter wing of 14. Actually, a very typical real-life air wing, I suppose, or maybe a squadron. And a tactical bomber wing of 40, which is kind of big, which I guess might be more up to a real-life wing. Because a wing is like a bigger denomination than a squadron. I've just noticed we're way over time. I'm gonna do quick casualties because we've got quite a lot of warfare going on here. In fact, we could probably even do... No, we can't. We gotta be at war. Oh, let's look at the current wars. Hawaiian-German war? Okay. 675,000 for the Third International. Majority of that being France. A lot of Union of Britain, again, shipping over the seas, probably fighting the Kriegsmarine. German Empire 505,000. Middle Africa 106,000 colonial troops. Kind of a disgusting practice, honestly. Polish Lithuanian Commonwealth 146,000. Kingdom of France 45,000 EX. They're also involved against the syndicalists. Germany has taken a lot of losses if you combine all these wars. Qing 728,000, that's a lot. Chilean-Brazilian war 45,000 for Brazil. More for the enemy. Not bad, Brazil. We need this number to be higher if we're going Reichspakt. Right, well, that about wraps it up. If you like the NVIDIA, what the fuck? If you like the video, please hit the like button. I'm told it helps a great deal. And also check the description for relevant links like the mod pack if you're interested in that, which includes this wonderful music that we're listening to right now, which gets every single one of my videos copyright claimed, but that's okay. And also a link to my Patreon, my Twitter, and so on and so forth. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.